So this summer has delivered us some really, really good films, but there's one film specifically that put the audience into the driver's seat. Bad joke. That's F1. The film stars Brad Pitt, Javier Bardem, and it brought a lot of people into the world of racing that really didn't understand it or really know much about it, me included. So I brought a special friend along so we can poke and prod at this film and ask the age-old question. Was everything that we saw in the film legit, or was it, all smoke and mirrors, Hollywood style? Hello, sir. Thank you so much for joining me on this lovely, new, special day.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
So, like I said in the opening, this is a very, very special episode. So I know absolutely nothing about racing. The only thing that I know about cars, you ready?
Yeah.
I can change my oil.
Good.
The tires.
Okay.
My brake light.
Okay, so you have maybe the skill of one pit crew member.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
If I'm lucky.
If you're lucky. And how quick are you with a torque gun?
I've never used one, so I would...
Changing the tire?
I would trip and get run over. I know myself.
I don't think you'd trip and run over.
Oh, first of all,
yeah.
Introduce yourself to the lovely audience.
Hey everybody, my name is Patrick Aquino, and I am one of the lead organizers for the Nashville Formula One Club. And I've been a Formula One fan since, I want to say, the early 2000s. So I am a pre-Drive to Survive fan.
So I have a series of questions.
Yeah.
All right.
Shoot.
First of all, before we get into questions, here's some notes about the film already. Ready?
All right.
The film has grossed over 300 million worldwide today. This is today's numbers. And it currently is Apple's highest grossing theatrical film. And the movie produced, the production budget for the movie ranged from 200 million to 300 million, with an additional estimate of 100 million spent on marketing.
Yeah.
So it's doing good.
Yeah, I would say so. I think with, the amount of fans that F1 has amassed since, 2020 during the pandemic, and when everyone really started to watch Netflix's Drive to Survive, that's what initially got people really, really hooked onto Formula One. That this wasn't a global phenomenon yet, right? This was just, a niche group of people all over the world watching these races from whichever way they could. And now you have the post Drive to Survive era, where now you have more races in 1 year. You have now more teams are actually entering the Formula One arena. We've always only had 10 teams. We're actually going to have an 11th team next year, which will be Cadillac Grand Prix, a U.S. Formula One team that solely uses American components. So there was all that stuff now.
So we went to see the movie together.
Yes, we did.
And as we were watching it, I was thinking about this episode, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to ask him a slew of questions because for me, I'm seeing it from like a theater major film person perspective, and I know there's things that are wrong, things that are right. That's what we're going to answer today.
Right.
Okay. First question.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think this film could spark more interest from a new audience?
So do I think that this could spark? I think, yes, 100%, because you're going to bring in, fans, friends of fans, right? Which is kind of the whole idea. Like, I'm a Formula One fan. You are not, but you're a good movie fan. Right. And I'm like, dude, let's go watch this together. And I think even while we were watching, we were trading tidbits of information. Like, you were going, oh man, that was shot really, really well. Because nothing has been filmed like this ever before, right? And then from me and my standpoint, I'm going, I have never seen race filming like this. Because we've had Days of Thunder, we've had, Rush with Niki Lauda.
Premium Rush. Rush, yeah.
Rush, yeah. We've had Rush with, the Niki Lauda and James Hunt story. While they had great race scenes, a lot of them used, kind of like classic footage.
Right.
They used very kind of selected scenes on where to position a car, things like that. But this is the first time where we were literally put in the driver's seat.
All right, so next question. Now we're going to get into the oil of this.
The mechanics of it.
Mechanics of it.
Mechanics of it. Yeah.
So We're gonna talk about pit stops, okay? So were the pit stops that were shown, was it really realistic, like the timing, the execution, and did they over dramatize that job?
Yes and no. So are pit stops crucial to a Formula One race? 100%. And there was this line that Brad Pitt said where, you take a tenth of a second, you take a tenth of a second, and pretty soon that all adds up. That's 100% accurate. Are there times in the movie where, the nut wouldn't fit in?
Right.
Real. 100% real. There are moments where a gun doesn't work. They've always got a spare gun preloaded and ready to go. That's pretty accurate. The big thing for me was when Sonny Hayes sat there and refused to go.
Oh,
unless the tires were
the tires that he specifically
wanted. That definitely goes against team orders, and that would make a team principal extremely upset, or a team strategist, or your race engineer. You're essentially pissing off a whole bunch of people on your team.
Okay, so how realistic was the in race communication between the driver, the team, and did the dialogue sound like, was the dialogue like, I don't want to say accurate to what people do in racing, but is it kind of on par with what they say?
It's kind of on par. Yeah. I mean, they definitely livened it up a little bit because there's a lot of technical jargon that goes on in race communication.
It with dialogue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. They'll say something. They'll say, set regen to level 2, switch power level to strat A. There's a lot of really kind of boring conversation that goes on. They'll even say things like, you'll want to set regen to regen on brake before entering turns 13 and 14, and then setting it back for full. For the full straight, for full power. Some of the stuff that gets broadcast even in a normal Formula One race, like frustration, or someone going, oh man, that asshole over there is in the middle, is in my lane. I don't know what the F he's doing. That gets broadcast. That does happen. Yeah.
So yes and no, essentially.
Yeah, they spared us. They spared us the really boring stuff and gave us kind of the more emotional moments of a driver would have with his crew.
Now let's talk about the red flags and the medical response and all that stuff. So
red, yellow, green, checkered,
all the things that happen in that
car.
Yeah, God. When it comes to all that medical procedure, the red flags, does it follow? Does it really follow the protocols in real life, or was it just no? That's Hollywood.
After the initial adrenaline, the flying experience was over, and I'd been able to come back down to earth and really, really think about the movie, I was thinking to myself, these guys would not be the hero team. They would be the hated team. Here's essentially why. What their strategy was from the beginning when they went to Plan C. Chaos, right?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, when they went to Plan C, it was essentially race fixing. And race fixing is when you use deliberate accidents to control the pace of a race, lessen the gaps, because every time a safety car, a yellow flag, comes out, you lose, those are the great equalizers of racing. Any kind of lead that is gained gets essentially minimized. If someone was 17 seconds ahead and there's a red flag, that's a complete stop. Everyone lines up on the pit lane in their order. And that's fresh tires. You can get rested, you're redoing the strategy. You can go all out, depending on how many laps are left. And the fact that they were doing that, like the instance where Sonny was, slowing people down under a green flag.
Right.
The infamous scene with Max Verstappen where he goes, I guess I kind of deserve that. That's not illegal, but that's definitely unsportsmanlike behavior. The scenes where he was purposefully destroying his nose.
Oh, right, yeah.
To spread carbon debris over a racetrack. First of all, you just ruined the other guy's race, which was Kevin Magnussen. You ruined his race by potentially puncturing his tire. And second, you brought pit crews out and you just demolish the nose of a Formula One car, do you know how expensive that is?
So I want to know, just give me one. Okay.
One.
What is one moment in this film that just like made your fist curl up? You'd be like, that would never, ever happen. Like one thing that got under your skin as an F1 fan.
I will say two, and one of them I'm going to do real quick. That opening scene in Daytona with the fireworks and the helicopter flying so low. Totally badass. Very Jerry Bruckheimer on brand for him. That wouldn't happen on a race.
It needs to happen. I'm just saying.
Okay, it could. Now, the other thing was the some of the drafting moves that
Slingshot?
yeah,
Is that the right term? Okay.
slingshotting around. That can't happen on an F1 car because those cars are so aerodynamic, are designed to be so aerodynamically sensitive that you need to have clean air. That's an uninterrupted airflow over the car to help it stick to the ground at those high speeds. So when you've got another F1 car following behind it, it's not like Days of Thunder, in the sugar packets.
Sorry, Tom.
Sorry. It's not like Days of Thunder in the sugar packets where you're both punching a hole through the air.
Right.
That air behind you becomes incredibly unstable.
And makes you unstable.
And which will make that second car unstable, and it's not going to have the grip that's needed.
Come on.
The way to do it would be, it's called a toe. And a toe is when you're not aligned perfectly back to each other. You're actually almost like an offset.
Oh,
and you're actually going slower so that the hole that you're punching is more widened. And then that air differential can kind of affect you too. And you essentially drive through. So you can get a toe, but you can't draft.
That should be the name of this episode. Okay, so last question, and this is actually more of a rumor, but I think it's really, really cool.
I think so. I think I know where you're getting at.
So there is a rumor that has spread after the movie, and to this day, they made an announcement that it's possible it might happen.
I think so too.
That Tom Cruise, what's his character's name? Not
Cole
Tropic Thunder.
Trickle.
Oh my gosh. In Days of Thunder, Cole Trickle would team up with Sonny Hayes to do a mashup film. Now, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
But the question that lies in the first one, would you like to see the movie? And then the small question at the end is, could an F1 racer jump to NASCAR? Would that be like an upgrade to this really fast thing down to like something that's fast but not so like you said, aerodynamic?
Yeah. So number one, I would love to see that movie. Because you kind of go into that, who was the original for Top Gun and Days of Thunder? It was the same director.
Yes, yeah.
Right? So you had kind of Top Gun into that, and now you have the Top Gun going into racing full circle, right? And, Tom Cruise did make a guest appearance on the premiere.
It's true.
Totally unannounced, I think. And second, would that be possible? Yes. Totally possible. F1 drivers are considered some of the best in the world. And a lot of them, when they finish F1, they'll go to other leagues. Like they'll compete in the World Endurance Series. They will compete in NASCAR. They will compete in IndyCar. We actually have a U.S. driver, Juan Pablo Montoya, who's actually done all three. He's driven NASCAR. He's driven a Formula One car. And he's driven an IndyCar.
Overachiever.
Right? I think the only other person that may come close to something like that would be Fernando Alonso, where it's F1, endurance, and IndyCar.
Jeez.
So is it totally possible? Yes, 100%.
So F1 is like, if you can drive a semi-truck, you can drive anything.
I don't know if it would be a semi-truck. I don't know if it would be a semi-truck, unless that semi-truck was Optimus Prime.
I thought that was a good analogy. Optimus Prime, yeah. Okay. It just drives itself.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So yeah.
All in all, F1, right?
F1.
Let's say I give you a grading scale, right? Where does this movie land when it comes to realism? And then where does it come to as a movie fan?
Okay, as a movie fan, I would give it a solid, B plus A minus.
Okay.
B plus as a general movie fan.
Fair enough.
It's exciting. It definitely gets you in there. It takes you to places that you don't see at an F1 race. True. After coming back down to earth,
Yeah.
as a technical movie, I would give it a C.
Fair enough.
Just as a fan, it's still great. It's great for people who don't know F1, like yourself, and to get in there and to get really, really excited about it. And I think it just opens that dialogue more with fans.
Man, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah,
doing this.
of course. This is great.
The group that you talked about at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Do a little pitch. Let them know
Yeah.
where they can go if they're interested more in F1 and more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can actually find us on Instagram. We are Nashville Formula One. We're just a club of people there's about 400 of us who actually come together and watch Formula One races. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Meetup and on Facebook. And if you Google us or Reddit us, you'll find all of our links there as well.
Bam. Who knows? Next episode might be Days of Thunder, F1 mashup. I don't know if it'll be Days of Thunder or an F1 sequel. F1 Thunder, Days of One. I don't know what it would be.
Days of One. That would be cool. That would be cool.
Sir, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Great to be here. Thanks, Sam.